20 years on, after England's footballers won the World Cup just down the road at Wembley Stadium, could England's hockey players do the same this afternoon? Your match commentators, Jim Duthie and Barry Davis.
So let's check the final lineup from a squad of 16 players of the England setup who've done their sport proud and who've captured the imagination of the sporting public, many of whom were previously unaware of the skills and intricacies of the game of hockey. They comprise, for the record, 2 teachers, 2 involved with computers, a doctor, a transport manager, a quantity surveyor and a newsagent, 2 concerned with sports administration and sales, and 1 recent recipient of a degree in geography. It's the same lineup which started that memorable semi-final against West Germany. Sean Kelly, who scored the opening goal of that contest and has a total of 4 in the championship. But the top scorer is in the Australian lineup, Rick Charlesworth, the number 7, who has scored 7 times. Their lineup too is unchanged, and it has to be said that they go into this final as the favourites. Any side which manages 29 goals, and so many of them coming from open play, 20 indeed from open play, has to start a final as the likely winners. Here is Australian Member of Parliament, Rick Charlesworth. He's also a Doctor of Medicine and used to captain Western Australia at cricket, so you could say he's a pretty all-round character. But plenty of support for the Aussies, including a band just to the left of the commentary box who have their own particular cry. Final seconds before the start. And the first stick to play the ball is that of Terry Walsh of Australia. And the Australians all the way through have shown an emphasis on attack, and it is to be hoped that England will be able to do the same. And it is also to be hoped that we can feed the ball through well to the front players. England back in the white strip, white shirts, so each side in their traditional colours. First close-up of the ball from Martin Grimley for the Australian goalkeeper Neil Snowden, one of their survivors from the Olympic Games. Half slip by Paul Barber. Here is Colin Batch. Hughes got back, and there was an obstruction. This is the 21st meeting between the 2 countries. Australia have won 10, England 4. There have been 6 draws, including the last one, which ended at 3-all, with the Australians winning 5-3 on penalty strokes. Paul Barber, David Faulkner, John Potter on the right, and his part in this final will surely be very significant. He and Martin Grimley, Jim Duthie, have quite a role to play.
I think they've got the most important roles. Australia do attack down the flanks very well, and I think Martin Grimley has got the most difficult marking Grant Mitten today.
Charlesworth to Neil Hallgood, a young man who's come into the Australian side since the Olympics, scored 4 times. He's a plumber from Brisbane, but his coach Richard Aggis was saying that considering the number of shots he's had on goal, he ought to be top scorer in the championship. Doesn't hesitate, bangs the ball across. If he sees the side of the goal, he has a go. Maybe a good moment to give you some of the measurements. The pitch in hockey, 100 yards by 60 yards. The goal is 7 foot high by 4 yards wide. Down Birmingham. Well stopped by David Faulkner. And it went away from Grant Mitten for just that vital second. And when he got in his shot, a good save from the goalkeeper of the tournament, Ian Taylor. First penalty corner given, with the ball coming up dangerously off an English stick.
I'm afraid that was a stupid mistake by the England team. Yesterday they conceded a lot of short corners in exactly the same way, and it looks like they've started off in the same vein.
2 umpires, incidentally the same too. Renaud and Santiago Deo of Spain. Renaud, the one we're looking at now. John Bestall. And Taylor scooped it away. And Rick Charles was a little disappointed that a penalty stroke wasn't given. The ball was lost for a moment. But Mr. Renaud had a good look. Wants a word with somebody. And it looks as though it's Paul Barber. And also Rick Charlesworth, who maybe were discussing the umpire's verdict with differing views. So long corner taken by Craig Davis, but the umpire not happy. He hadn't restarted the clock. John Potter. That's an England hit in. To be taken as the Australians had not retired the required 5 yards. Barber. Pity, because Grimley was well placed and had room to manoeuvre. Potter. Long corner. Yes, and it's gone in. Walsh, the scorer. Terry Walsh taking advantage of a bouncing ball to give Australia the lead, to score his 3rd goal in the championship and to put Australia on top in this final. Came up off the stick of Grimley and Taylor left rather exposed. Richard Leman resists the challenge of Hallgood, and the clock will be stopped and a word will be spoken to Hallgood. I think that was something of the exuberance of youth, so determined to get in, but the charge from behind was clear for all to see. So the first warning against Neil Hallgood for the challenge on Richard Leman. Barber. What a waste of the free hit. Charlesworth. All good. See what I mean about getting the ball into the circle quickly. Craig Davis. John Bestall, who, like Davis, comes from Perth, Western Australia. The wind is being used for a different sport at the moment. It's where the America's Cup is taking place. Charlesworth. Grimley getting there ahead of Mitten. Ball lifted dangerously. Charlesworth also comes from Western Australia, from Perth. Curley. Somebody been able to get into the match yet, which is now being blessed by some pleasant sunshine. Faulkner. Stick was too high from Grant Mitten. There's a message there for Martin Grimley. Do like to use the width of the field, the Australians. And they've got such pace with their wide men. Barber. Faulkner. It's an England hit for the challenge by Charlesworth on Potter. 15 minutes have elapsed. And the dangerous play was by Curley.
I can't understand that at all, because Davis actually played the ball towards Curley there.
I suspect the Spaniards didn't like the wildness of Sean Curley's swing. Hughes. Well used. Leman. Potter to the right. Maybe got caught in two minds. And Ian Taylor on his haunches, quite happy to watch that one go by. Before the start of this tournament, he was advocating the possible end of the circle in the sport. I'm not sure that he's right about that. I think it heightens the tension, particularly from the penalty corners, and also makes the game unique and thereby very different from association football. Good challenge by Dodds. Shawani. Hughes. Shawani. We've seen a lot of attacking flair from the Australians, but they showed on that occasion that they're good markers and coverers too. Bestall. David Bell, the skipper. Distraction by Hughes. Curley to Dodds, two over on the right side, and another free hit to England. Cut out by Trevor King. The man who scored the only goal so far, Walsh. A good ball through to Hallgood. Mitten on the far side of the circle. Good cover by Potter, and Hallgood, in turning to play the ball backwards, obstructed Potter, and England hit.
That's very good play by Johnny Potter there, getting back on his man. It's interesting to see also that the England fullbacks are pushing up as high as they can on the Australian forwards. Previous matches, the Australians have played against defences which have been happy to concede a lot of space and therefore give the Australians time to get the ball out of defence. England are actually pushing up on the Australians, making it as difficult as possible for them to get good ball out.
Stopped by Leman. I think it was feet by Charlesworth. Stephen Batchelor. 16-yard hit. King to Bell. Dodds in. The ball played up onto the body of Grant Mitten. Challenge on Warren Birmingham. He's had a particularly good tournament, just 25. Grimley. Chopping action, but it's just a hit in for the ball going out of play. Barber. It's a good ball to Leman. Potter. Batchelor comes inside, then goes outside. Stopped by Trevor King. Instruction given against Stephen Batchelor. Man bided his time well. Instruction by King. And I think significant signs that England are settling to their task. Potter. Fortunately, the feet of Batchelor. Taken from the wrong place, and Mr. Deo gives the hit to England. Good stop by Craig Davis and by David Faulkner. Well, the only one who made that dangerous was the Australian.
Yes, I think the umpires fooled a bit by them. They were trying to make that as dangerous as possible so they could get the free hit. It's at the moment there seems to be a lot of confusion about the ball being in the air and being dangerous or not dangerous. I think a lot of the players are confused as well. But again, it was good to see that David Faulkner had pushed up from behind and actually giving support to the midfield.
Kelly being followed everywhere by Bestall. A typical piece of determination by the Englishman. Play by Curley.
Yes, he's closing down the players very quickly and again making it difficult for the Australians to get the ball out of defence.
Shawani. 3 in the circle. Good challenge by Birmingham. Well, it's an England hit just outside. And the hopes are quite definitely growing. Judged to have held off Birmingham. And the way England are now playing makes one regret even more the way they started and conceded the goal.
On those free hits from the side there, I'd rather see England bring out players from the back who can actually hit the ball extremely hard in the circle. Australia won a short corner very early on the game by bringing out their full-backs and actually just slamming the ball into the circle, waiting for the English players to make a mistake, and I think we should do likewise.
Penalty corner given because the ball came up off the pad of Ian Taylor, too close to Grant Mitten. Extremely difficult demands on a goalkeeper in that situation. Birmingham to hit in. Terry Walsh prepared to strike. And the umpire not happy with the placing of the ball. He is now. Bestall. The lovely strike. And Australia have a 2-0 lead.
But
Goal really against the run of play, I think.
It seemed to go far too high. To me, that seemed to go directly and above the backboard, and therefore should have been disallowed.
Another nearly. England quite often promise, but so far have not fulfilled. Dangerous play given. Barber. Potter. Collected by Birmingham. Changes the angle of attack. Good stop by Paul Barber. Came off the feet of Hughes. The umpire allowed the advantage. Good interception by Faulkner. England losing possession again. Horgoods. Long corner. And another long corner. This time Craig Davis comes forward. Match trying to lose his marker. And an England hit. Three minutes of the first half remaining, and how the complexion of this contest would change if England could manage a goal during that period. Australia have taken their chances, deserved to be in front, but the second goal was somewhat against the run of play at that stage. Davis, Bell. Danny Bora and John Shaw and Robert Cliff looking in. Stopped by Dodds. Well waited by Batchelor. Good challenge by Hallgood, who gets back to do his defensive work. This is better. Obstruction by Charlesworth. 2 minutes of the half remaining, and offside against Sean Curley. It's a hit in. Kelly. Grimley. "16-yard hit. Batchelor looking to go on the far right. Beautifully taken by Trevor King. And well used. This is Batch. Back again to Batch. Taylor getting the ball away with height and distance. Shiwani. Bestall across. Shiwani checking where everybody is. Inside the last 30 seconds of the first half. Obstruction by Walsh. Crowd encouraging England to get on with it. Grimley, it's got through. A 16-yard hit. Richard Dodds, who got into the circle. First half comes to an end with the favourites leading by 2-0, Australia. Their first goal coming from Terry Walsh in the 5th minute, and England failed to clear a bouncing ball, and then from a penalty corner, and the Australians have only had 2, England yet to have 1. From a penalty corner, John Bestall scored the 2nd goal. So the half-time score, England 0, Australia 2.
So here we go then. 35 minutes for England. John Shaw the sub on. 35 minutes for England to save this World Cup final. 2-0 down, back to Barry Davies.
And I think it was significant that Colin Wally and David Whittaker took the team off to the dressing room, which doesn't always happen at half-time. What was clearly a chat-in, and the arrival of John Shaw suggests that the emphasis has got to be to give it a real go. And Shaw immediately in the action. Richard Leman is the player who has come off. And England immediately get a long corner. Well, in fact, it's quickly taken by Australia. Faulkner, Charlesworth. A very busy start, the sort of start that England wanted to make right at the opening of the match, but didn't. Statistics can often be overused in sport, but I think the facts that England have managed 12 goals in this championship so far, and the Australians now 31. But here is Sean Curley. Oh, what a pity. But if England can play like that, the whole thing could be turned round. If the ball can be got through, and we can see the pace from Curley, from Shiwani and from Batchelor, supplemented by Shaw, then we could get back into this contest. But even so, as I was saying, 31 goals in 6.5 matches is quite a record by Australia. Curley has struck 4 times. That just about everyone in this huge crowd, probably something around 12,000, will be feeling that what a difference an early goal in this half could make. Live, Australia in possession, denied it by Hughes. Dodds. Curley was coming the other way. Davis. Hughes. Hit against Bell. Potter. Every Australian back. But this is a good comeback by England, Jim.
England are making a spirited fight here, and they have to, and they're doing very well at the moment. But they're pushing players up and back, and be very careful about these breaks the Australians might be making as the game goes on.
In their group matches in Group B, the Australians won 4 of the 5. They were held by West Germany. Although observers at that time did rather feel that when it reached 2-2 that both sides settled for the point. Charlesworth. Long corner. And some good stick work by Rick Charlesworth. Rising 34. Penalty corner given for the obstruction in the circle. The Australians' second goal, I thought, came slightly against the run of play at the time. Bestall. The ball was not properly stopped, and history was not repeated. Has to be cleanly stopped, but it was not. As we look to that replay, England have made a very quick substitution. Kilby Bora coming on in place of Stephen Batchelor to play on the right wing. Trevor King. So England have made 2 of their allowed 3 substitutions. Birmingham. Recover by Potter. Obstruction on Shiwani. Shiwani. Grimley has changed the angle by that movement. Barber. England pushing up onto the halfway line. Up the stick of Shaw. Stopped by Dodds. Bora. Good play. The umpire read it well too. What a pity. The umpire fully appreciating that there was a foul there. The whistle came up, but he didn't blow it. He allowed Bora to go on. Potter. Shaw. Good challenge by Birmingham. Very strong and effective challenge by Barber. Left Walsh on the deck inadvertently.
Certainly needed to make that tackle there because Walsh would have been through.
Bora. Did it come up on feet? Curley almost stole it. Penalty corner. Oh, credit to the England team. This is a hugely uplifting comeback. They looked very depressed when they went off the field at half-time. But the half-time chat was brought out a very different side for the second period. Potter, Curley, Barber, another good save. Still Potter, and it just will not run. Dodds. Stopped by Charlesworth. And the Australians getting everyone back. And they now wish to make a substitution. Horgood is the player coming off. Let's look again at how close England came. A good save. And then Potter trying to work a position. And again, Snowden doing well. Back come England again. And Australia now have Peter Hazelhurst, number 11, on in place of Horgood. Birmingham. Play by Martin Grimley. England's hit. Feet by Bestall. Dodds. Obstruction given. And Bora was the nearest to the cross by Richard Dodds. England running the match though at the moment, Jim.
They are. They've really come back in this game very well. and they've just got to keep going. I mean, they've got to have the belief that if they keep putting this amount of pressure on the Australians, that they will get a goal in the end. And if that does happen, I think the Australians will start to panic naturally.
I think already they may be feeling that England have proved their most difficult opponents.
Well, I think when the tournament started, Australians have always done, or let's put it, England have always done well against Australia, and so West Germany, and I think West Germany and England would have been the two sides they would have feared.
England's hit just outside the circle. Really must make those count, though, to get the ball into the circle. Faulkner. Potter. Batch. Hit given against Dodds. Quite what was intended, and England's hit where the ball landed. White ball again. Dangerous play by Potter, lifting the ball. Long shadows. Match now being played in really pleasant autumn sunshine. And the weather really throughout this tournament has been quite excellent, and I've just been handed the official figures for the tournament. Hockey has been watched here at Willesden by 92,217 people. And every hope of the World Hockey Board, and the chairman of that board, Phil Appleyard, has really been realised here. Irrespective, I think, of the result of this afternoon. England going right through to the final. The two best teams from the group contests meeting to decide the outcome. Now, Hughes is the player down. The umpire is calling the Australian skipper to him. Well, that was a quite blatant body check. Indeed, sufficiently blatant that David Bell has been sent off for a minimum of 5 minutes. We don't know exactly how many minutes the umpire says. It's up to his discretion, which I think maybe is a law that could be changed so the public are kept informed. But Australia will play with 10 men, and the clock has stopped at 15 minutes and 16 seconds remaining.
I think, Barry, that he'll be mostly off for about 5 minutes, and then hopefully during this period England can make use of the extra man.
Grimley's recovered. Even with a lot of players in the opposition 25, but nothing to feed on from the hit. Quarter of an hour remaining of this final and of this 6th World Hockey Cup. Collected by Walsh, but nobody was up to support him, which I think is indicative of how the balance of play has changed. But Australia still 2 goals to the good. Mistake by Potter, really. Batch. Birmingham. Obstruction by Faulkner. Far from sitting back on it with one man short, the Australians have immediately turned to the attack. Faulkner. And The band of captains here has been passed to Trevor King. That's what the delay was about. John Bestall. Hit by Hughes, but it's Australia's hit. King. Stopped by Dodds. Looking to get Shawani away here. He'll be rather telegraphed the pass. And Charlesworth is the player who's moved to right back in the absence of the captain. Charlesworth, the former captain and the most experienced player in the team. The green card being shown to a second Australian. That's just a warning to Colin Batch. Barber. Dodds with a little bit of space to move into. Faulkner. Can't afford to give away possession like that. Barber. Faulkner given the opportunity to try again. Good challenge by Walsh. Curley waiting in the circle. Shawani on the left side. Comes to Curley, obstructed by Bestall. And England would do well to knock the ball in early. Quite often with Curley around, somebody gets obstructed. But this time it's Australia's hit. If you can't get the ball into the circle, you can't score. Davis. Missed by Grimley. Here's Grant Mitten. Peter Hazelhurst lost control, fortunately for England. Now Walsh. What an opportunity wasted by Australia. That could have killed the match and decided the outcome.
That was certainly a great escape for England there. And it's not like Walsh to miss chances like that.
Hazelhurst. Australia's hit in. Walsh. All very tight. An obstruction by Hazelhurst. Bora allowed to continue. Hughes, Curley. Hit for the challenge on Curley, who has been given very little room in this contest. Shaw. Barber. Faulkner. Bora. Obstruction by Hazelhurst. That's good running. Curley gets it in early. Hughes. Shawani! Well, the chance was certainly there. Good running by Curley, lost his marker, the instant cross, mistake by Charlesworth, and I think the aggressive challenge by Charlesworth on Shawani was a factor there, Jim.
It was. It was very well set up by Kubil Bora, who fed the ball there through, and is certainly making an impact on this game so far.
Stopped by Birmingham. Hazelhurst. The Australians playing virtually with just two up now. And now those two get behind the ball as England have the hit. Potter. Shaw. 10 minutes left. Hughes calling for it. And collects. Bora. 16-yard hit. The sport is full of if-onlys, but I'm afraid if the score changes, it doesn't change, then England will look back and ask themselves why they didn't play in the first half as they played in the second. 5 minutes have elapsed. Back comes David Bell for Australia. In all their previous matches, except against the West Germans, 2 goals by Australia has led to a very comfortable victory, with more goals following, but not today. Barber, he's a little bit fortunate, but it's his hit. Hughes, England's hit again. Australians wait to make us another substitution. Bora, Hazelhurst, Trevor King. Australia's hit. Dean Evans still waiting, and it's interesting here that Grant Mitten is the player to be withdrawn, so Australia hanging on to what they hold, bringing on a more defensive player.
Well, with only about 8 minutes to go, we've got a large partisan Wilson crowd, and it's in the game against West Germany, this crowd lifted the English players to new heights. We just have to see if they can do it again today.
Barber, and all by Ian Taylor in the Australian half of the field. Great grunt from Walsh. Barber. Hit in to be taken again. Davies. Potter. Feet by King. Curley starts the move to the inside right position. It was aimed at Norman Hughes. Bell to Bestall. Dangerous play. I think the hit is from the place of impact. Indeed it is. Paul Barber. Yes! John Potter! Well, it rather backs the point that's been made. If you bang the ball into the circle, you quite often get a rebound. The rebound came off the goalkeeper, and Potter on the reverse sticks, finding the empty goal. Barber. Shaw unable to take it. Craig Davis. Stopped by Hughes. Shawani threatening, so is Shaw. Clearance by Bestall. Dodds to Potter, trying to find some room to get the ball into the circle. England's hit. Dodds to Potter. Off the feet. No. Long corner. Just listen to the noise. Of yesterday.
Well, they're not going to have many more chances left, so I hope they take their time over this, just calm themselves down. We can only hope.
Barber deflected for the long corner. Good challenge out by Warren Birmingham. Penalty corner again against David Bell. Came from drastic defeat. And the pressure on Australia from all sides. Curley. Baba! Oof. And Baba knows how close it was. 2.5 minutes left. Back come England again. Dodds. Challenged by Batch. His feet, England's hit. No time to be wasted. 16-yard hit. The clock says 2 minutes left. Shaw. Trying to resist the challenges. Fouled by Batch. Barber. Grimley. Good challenge by Batch. Shaw, Hughes. It's Australia's hit. Hazelhurst. Curley. Obstruction by Davis. Hit taken quickly by Dodds. Great challenge by Charlesworth. We're into the last minute. Faulkner. Charlesworth. Faulkner. 35 seconds remaining. Barber's got to look for the long one. The long one it is. Shawani goes off in search, but cannot find. Bestall with a 16-yard hit for Australia. It's a good one. And Hazelhurst just has need to keep possession. Inside the last 15 seconds. England's hit. Taylor comes to take it. Forward by Grimley. Stopped by Birmingham. The last 5 seconds. The Australians celebrate. England end this 6th World Cup on top. But Australia take the trophy, winning an excellent final that had two very contrasting halves by 2 goals to 1. England really giving themselves too much ground to recover from a very nervous start. A good final which ends with disappointment for the England players. But Australia winning by 2 goals to 1. Their goals scored by Walsh in the 5th minute and Bestall in the 24th minute.
The Toshiba Australian PGA Championship 1986, with highlights Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday nights, and live Saturday and Sunday. From Castle Hill Country Club in Sydney, where Greg Norman goes for a hat-trick, having won in 1984 and 85. That's competition golf this week on ABC.